For your attendance today, please refer to this link.
Greetings everyone. Now before we proceed to our lesson, I must remind you of our activity today, and I've given you ample instructions during our last meeting. Now, as you can see here, I've set up our activity entitled Don't Let Me Fall. Now, you can use any bottle that you want. You just have to make sure that the bottle on top is empty and you have a crisp bill in the middle. Now, the goal of this activity is to remove the bill from between them, okay? From between them. And if you did, in 2 attempts, I'll give you myself a cash prize, and we can send that through GCash or any means that you prefer. So, may I ask everyone if you're ready? So please open your cameras, and let's go on with the activity. Now, for the first attempt, let's do it simultaneously. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Did anyone get it? No. Okay, that's all right. For the second one, is everyone ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, too bad. Well, for you to make, or so that it may be fair, I will try it myself. So notice that it's the same setup basically. So here's my first attempt. No surprise there. However, let me cheat a little bit. How about I change this empty bottle with one that has a little bit of water? How does this make a difference? Well, let's see. Okay, here's my second attempt. 3, 2, 1, and there you go. I guess this is mine now. Now, how does this connect to our topic for today? How does this demonstration relate to it? Well, let's find out. Our lesson for today is the law of inertia. And our objectives are, first, let's define the law of inertia. Second is relate mass and the inertia of an object. And third, and last, is cite ways in which inertia is considered involved in sports safety. Now, the law of inertia states that an object in a state of motion, it can be either moving or stationary, will stay in that state unless acted upon by an outside force. Now, how does that relate to our activity? Now, as you can see here, guys, during our activity, the bottle is our object. It's stable here because I'm not moving. However, when I apply an outside force by virtue of removing it, it should topple over. But what made the difference between success and failure? Can anyone answer? Okay, yes. Indeed. It has something to do with how heavy they are. In other words, mass, or technically inertia. And how or why? Well, let's find out again. In order for us to understand what inertia is, let's have another demonstration. Now, I have here 3 bottles. One's empty, one has a little bit of water, and the other one is half full. Okay? Now, I will attempt to remove, now, instead of the money or the bill, I will remove a piece of cloth from beneath it. Okay? And your job is to observe how they react when I apply the outside force, which is applied when I do this motion. Okay? Everyone ready? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, every one of them have different reactions. Can anyone tell me what they have observed and how they differ? Okay, that's right. That's precisely correct. Due to their differences in mass, they react differently. The empty one toppled over and even fell on the floor. The one with a little bit of water, though it didn't topple over, it moved significantly, while the heaviest of them didn't move at all. And so what can we infer? What can we understand about inertia from this demonstration? How does mass relate to it? Okay, yes. That is very much correct. Inertia and mass is directly proportional. So again, inertia is the tendency of an object to resist a change in its state of motion. And thus, the greater the mass, yes, the greater the inertia. And thus, as you can see, the bottle with the most resistance is the one with the greatest mass. Now, we've already discussed inertia as it applies to stationary objects. But how about moving ones? Well, in order for us to understand that, let's have a simulation. Now, I have here two simulations that are running simultaneously with two crates but with different masses. However, they're moving at the same speed of 20 meters per second. Our job here today is to slow them down to 10 meters per second. Now, it's for you guys to observe how long they took to slow down to 10 meters per second. So first, let's go with the 50 kilogram one. Okay, observe. And also, we'll be applying the same amount of force of 250 newtons. Okay, engaging in 3, 2, 1. Oh, it already did slow down to 10 meters per second. That was the 50 kilogram crate only took 2 seconds to slow down. How about the second one? Okay, applying 250 kilograms. Now, it's still going, it's still slowing down. It's still slowing down. Okay, it's close. Okay, it's now 10 meters per second. Now, why did it take too long for the heavier crate to slow down? Can anybody answer? Okay, you. Okay, it's about inertia again. So again, the greater the mass, the greater the resistance to change in its state of motion. In this case, it's moving. So it's resisting the force applied for it to slow down, and thus it took longer. Now you can feel this when you're riding a bus. When it stops suddenly, you feel a jolt. You know, you tend to move forward even though the bus completely stopped. It's because of inertia. That's why vehicles have seat belts for you to not, for your inertia to not carry you and fly through the window. And also, we can observe how safety precautions are also implied in consideration with inertia in sports, wherein cushioning are there so that the transfer of inertia or the change in inertia when falling down or when landing is gradual and not sudden, hence avoiding injuries. With that said, are there any questions, clarifications? None? Okay, let's have a short quiz. I've already given you the link for the quiz, so please access them and we'll answer them together. Okay, question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, and 4, and lastly 5. Okay, now let's see if your answers are correct. So for the first one, what is the answer? Okay, that's right. That's D, inertia. It is the tendency to resist a change in state of motion. How about number 2? Okay, yes, it's C. The car has inertia that is too great for you to counteract and thus it won't move. And how about number 3? Indeed, the correlation of mass and inertia is directly proportional. And number 4, okay, that's correct. The seatbelts are there to prevent you from flying out the window due to the retention of your inertia when the car stops. And lastly, number 5. Okay, yes, please. That is correct. It's letter B. The foams are there so that when athletes land or fall, the inertia or the change of inertia is slow and thus prevents injuries. Let's go for the results. Oh, everyone got perfect scores, and well, congratulations everyone. Now for your assignments, you must record yourselves performing an inertia trick that's not similar to the activity that we've done. Make sure that it fits for a minute. that will be all. Class dismissed, and thank you very much.